Hello, good morning, and welcome to Monday Meditation. It's actually really kicking off into feeling quite summery here today. It feels like summer has arrived, and in the UK we can go, oh, yes, that's really nice. We've had lots of dry weather and sunshine, but we haven't had this really warm feeling where, it's just wonderful. I find it wonderful to feel that warmth on my skin without needing to have those layers surrounding me for that extra little thermal hit. So yay, and it's great timing because we're in the build up towards the summer solstice, which one never quite knows with the weather, but it is beautiful to feel the energy of the sun when we're in solstice. So we've got solstice coming up towards the end of this week. And so I don't know how you have been feeling the last couple of days, but particularly yesterday, there was this beautiful surge of light that came in, and it felt like everything was really alive and not waking up, just already awake and cheering, and much harder to sometimes to reach a state of deep sleep at this time of year, because it's like there is just so much energy around, and we can really tap into that, and it helps that we know we're doing that, so that we don't feel alarmed by the uncertainty of the lack of sleep. But it is beautiful because we are we are able to be our most vibrant selves. So the key messages that kind of around and in the ether this solstice as we're coming in, because it is a hugely busy and high octane sort of June, so much kicking off for so many people, and some of that quite traumatic, some of it really, really amazing, like there are amazing shifts, and of course we know when we're experiencing big shifts that they can have their the negatives that are coming through. So we're just working to stay true to ourselves and our light and what we believe is the best outcome in each situation, so we have that kind of glass half full sort of feeling about life. So what have we got coming in and what we're focusing on today? There's a couple of things. Now, the key thing is that the work we've been doing in these meditations for the past year and a half has been very much about expansion of our internal solar energy, our solar plexus, how we feel safe, and our will to show up. And so much recently has been around how we value ourselves on so many different levels. Now, when we start to really tap into our inner story and hear and heal ourselves and feel and sit with the wounded parts of ourselves and reach for those deeper aspects that lie underneath and allow them to shine through, the messages that come through that and where we feel we need to be, how we feel to show up, the spaces that we frequent, just generally what we're working through, that is deep work. And it's also, it can look like not just that aspect, but the aspect where we are just, when we're in that really high vibing, lovely space where everything feels like it's in flow and it feels like it's happening and we're in alignment, with source energy, and we're feeling like we have a sense of where we need to be and where we're going, that sort of direction too. Both those sides of the coin are equally powerful in the way that they empower us. And when we make decisions, choices, actions with discernment from those spaces, we know that we are aligned with exactly where we need to be, and we're aligned with our hearts, and we're aligned with our most authentic selves. And that doesn't always look like happy smiley faces around us. It doesn't always look like continual support. It might look like some rocky areas around us while others adjust to our frequency of self-value. And the valuing aspect in that is knowing that even though the path you are choosing and the actions you are taking may not suit every single person around you and every situation, that if you're being true and honoring yourself and giving yourself the grace to stand in the values that you feel and sense to be true, the journey you're being shown and guided on, from your higher self and from your most healed self, then you are doing exactly what's right. And it's okay just to sit. We don't need to explain ourselves. We don't need to defend ourselves, because that's about valuing ourselves. Because when we're explaining and we're defending, we're actually giving some of that value away, as though somebody else needs to understand what we're going through in order for us to be right. Now, that's very different to, you know, having a little bit of a sounding board with somebody when we maybe go into counselling or therapy and we're working through some issues that that many are guided to do. That can be a deeply powerful way of understanding our journey, but it's more about how we listen to the guidance of our own healing journey and where we need to be. So we're holding true to our values by just acting on them and then waiting to see, holding that space for ourselves, going, okay, I'm acting on my values. It doesn't necessarily look like it's playing out well for some folks, and you know, there can be some real discernment around that, about, ooh, this feels uncomfortable, you know. And you know, it can be hard at times if we feel like we're not being liked and honored by people, and that can be an uncomfortable space to sit in. So on that journey, it's like, well, you know, if you're feeling aligned and within yourself doing what you've been led to do, it's good to just stick with that. Keep your eyes open and your ears open to where that might shift, but ultimately stay with your inner guidance and respect and honor what you have felt and see how it plays out, because it may well be that you're thoroughly rewarded eventually. And if you learn something deeper, then it's not been an error anyhow. So, and the wonderful thing is that actually, you know, when you trust your inner guidance, it always is right for you, because it's not about pleasing other people. And when we really value ourselves, that becomes a frequency within us. So like, it's something concrete that we are able to be in. And then that frequency is something that those around us can think, oh, okay, they may not even think it, but it just naturally happens that they also learn how to value themselves and stand their ground when they feel something, without having to project it onto everyone around them and try to make it everyone else's reality as well. You know, when we go through stuff, we can just go through it. We don't need everyone else to agree with us or to be on our side. And that's the bit where sometimes we can end up giving our energy away. Now, you know, we're all obviously, you know, we're all, wherever we are on our journeys, we kind of know this on some level right now. So this isn't like those obvious things where it's like, yeah, I do that, because definitely always feeling like, yes, I do that. Of course I honor myself and value myself. But it's the very subtle ways that can show up. So, you know, that is where the healing is coming from today, is helping the Reiki energy, helping us to connect with those places where we may not be valuing ourselves, through giving our energy away to something that we actually know where we're meant to be, but we've actually not quite niched in on that thing and owned it, because of the conflict that might be coming back at us from other sources that make us not trust our guidance. And this isn't about our egos and clashing. This is about figuring out what's going on inside, and if necessary, taking a step back away from things whilst we own things, because sometimes it can be quite conflicting trying to show up with that energy. And the point is, we don't need to show up with projecting it, we just need to be it. So that can be easier to do that away from people or situations, whatever that may be. So, you know, still communicating is also important in that. And that's the second half of our aspect, is how do we communicate our values effectively? And that is coming from a place of discernment. So that's when we do take that pause and time to step out of a situation or a space or a relationship, to sit with all of it until we see where the flow is easiest. Because sometimes it's not about, oh, I can feel what to do. It's sometimes like, well, that feels less bad than that, or that feels less resistant. So I'll go that way for a bit and then I'll suss it out again. And it's just, that's a really lovely way to move through that dense emotional field of energies that can be, because emotions are, you know, very vibrant and they're very calling, you know, they seek us out and want us to connect and own them. So it's like, it's very easy to get caught up in that emotional field that's external to our inner reality, our own emotional field. So it's having the discernment about what we need to communicate about our values and when, because of course, you know, there may be times we need to just state our values clearly and be in that frequency. It's where how much we're drawn to show up in that is the key. So, and again, there's never an error, there is only learning. And that's one of the things that's been the most liberating on my path, is going, well, do you know what? This is what I feel to do. And if I feel subsequently that that was maybe too much in that situation, I can readdress it for later. Or actually, sometimes being too much might just mean that I have a fear of not then being liked in a scenario, but actually that if I'm acting on my values, then it's okay for people not to like that, provided that my intention and where I'm at, or I've been, if it's something I've been guided to do, that is aligned with a deeper, richer personal inner truth. That's absolutely okay to stand with that. If it's something where we've sort of flippantly, other scenarios that I've experienced where I may have been a little bit off center and a bit reactionary to an energy in the home or other situations, it's something that I can address by sitting with and feeling where my part was to apologize. So these are spiritual truths, these are everyday truths that we learn in childhood, but it's now beginning to allow ourselves to believe that it actually, we don't need to carry the guilt for it and the shame or have fear around it. You know, it's just like, oh, this is a good game, let's figure out what we're doing today. Oh, okay, what are my values, what game am I playing, where am I trying to get to, and how do I sit with all of this? And oh, that's your one, that's my one, okay, don't quite get that at the moment, I'm just going to be here. So we try to bring that light-hearted child's play to it, which may mean sometimes just stepping away and going off to play into something that we love for a bit. So there are so many ways through that emotional field as we've explored, but the energies are so high this week, we can just step in and allow Reiki to help us to work with that energy in the most powerful way for us, you know, to live and be in our values, in our most authentic self and our most authentic way, and express those with clarity and discernment. So that is where the healing is coming today. So 10 minutes, we're just going to gently go in. And as we're sitting here, you can just gently close off your eyes, starting to go inward, feeling where everything is today. Whew, taking those few deep breaths. That lifeblood of your body. And breathing in deeply that fresh solstice energy that is so laced everywhere in the air. And knowing that that energy, when we intend to connect, can flow through us to bring in just exactly what we need, you know, connecting to that beautiful earth energy, which is being blessed with that amazing solar celestial energy. Connecting with that, with those energies that have been around way longer than we have. They've done these cycles, they know the truths, they know how to just keep shining and be. And as we allow ourselves to bathe in the energy of the upcoming solstice, we can have that intention that we remain connected throughout this period to receive all the beautiful light codes and frequencies that are coming down and are available for us. And at this point, we invite in the light of Reiki and the Holy Fire. Holy Fire, Holy Fire, to join in with this celestial and earthly fun, to catalyze the vibrations gently swirling throughout our internal body, connecting with any places within where we are not currently valuing ourselves, or where we may be uncertain in how to present that value. We're asking Reiki to give those places with that transmutational flame of Saint Germain to clear away any denseness, fear, shame or guilt. Feel that flame working through you. With the Holy FIre Reiki, transmuting and cleansing, revealing deeper truths that need to be seen so that they can be acknowledged and released. Being in the space where those have been cleared, that we receive a beautiful gift of the Holy Fire and of the solstice energy. All the light codes are flowing into planet that are aligned with our highest and greatest good right now. All these deep, rich authenticators to come in and help us to feel and sense our own personal value. Value all those things, all those parts of us that know where we need to be and how we need to show up. Feeling those beautiful flames of the Holy Fire licking away at those wounds, blessing them with a rich sense of golden knowingness. It's okay to shine in your truth. Cutting away any parts that need to own that, to make it anything other than what it is. That gift of simply being in our value frequency. And as you breathe now, just feel yourself letting go. Feel those releases, gently blowing it away. Sense it being gently pulled up through your body, released as the golden lights of all these combined beautiful energies gently envelop you. Connect with your soul and help it to shine. Just resting with these sensations for a few moments now, just enjoying them. Remember now that sensation, any parts of you that are connected to that bliss, internal bliss. Feel those flooding your body and allow them to be your frequency in this moment, knowing that when we connect with those, we propagate many more. And in this space, we feel and sense that the solstice energies will catalyze that experience within each of us and bring us so much more of the same. This is a deeply powerful time for transformation of all kinds. I wish you many blessings this week as you connect and receive these wonderful solstice energies. And as we close our session, just taking a moment to thank the guides who've brought you here. Your guides, the Reiki guides, the solstice guides, the earth guides, the elementals, the ancestors, all those beautiful high vibration beings from the Holy FIre who work in Saint Germain, who work endlessly, eternally for our greatest and highest good. And I look forward to seeing you this time next week for our next Monday update and to see where we are when we're right in the heart of solstice or just beyond it. Goodbye.